Hello! Hi! Welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good! And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good! Okay, well let's learn English together. Hello again, people. How are you all? How is everyone? How is everybody? Are you all having fun? And what about your weekend? Did you have fun? Did you go out on Friday and have a great night? I hope so. I also hope that you hopped into the shower and scrubbed yourself clean before you went out, so that you didn't smell like a homeless dinosaur's armpit. Good. So, the weekend's over and we're back here in the studio. And you're also back, but you're not here in the studio, are you? No. Well, I can't see you, so presumably you're not here, but you are there. Well, for a start, you can only be in one place at a time, can't you? Okay, so having looked around the studio, I can tell for certain, 100%, that you're not here. And that means that you must be there, somewhere, out there in Hungarian TV land, somewhere beyond the camera, sitting down comfortably with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and probably a biscuit or a piece of cake. All right, so here we all are at the start of a new week. And what are we thinking about this week? Well, for one thing, we have to go back and check up on the bench fields. They're still in the supermarket, aren't they? Yes, we haven't finished with them, but that's going to have to wait for a little while. Do you all remember what we were talking about last week? I don't mean the whole of the week, but do you remember what we were discussing about what normally happens to our bodies at Christmas? Well, during the Christmas and New Year period. That's the time when we're all happy, isn't it? That's the time when we go out more. That's the time when the company we work for organizes a party for everyone at work. And there are Christmas parties at school as well. We all spend more time in the kitchen, but we also all spend more time in pubs and restaurants and places like that too. And what about the weather? Well, for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, who remembers what a hemisphere is? That's right. A hemisphere is half of a sphere, and a sphere is a ball. And that means that the Earth, the place where we live, is a sphere. It's sort of ball-shaped. Okay, now when we're talking about the weather, we split the ball, the sphere, the planet, the Earth into two halves, the Southern Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere. The split is made along the equator, the line that bisects or cuts the Earth into two. This line is the dividing line between North and South. And where we are, here in Europe, we're in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, and why is that important now? Well, it's important because that means that when Christmas and the New Year are here, we're in the middle of winter, aren't we? Yes, for us, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter time. The season is winter, and that means that it's cold and wet and, well, not very nice outside. And that's important too. What happens in the winter? I mean, when we think about outdoor sports, what happens? Well, they stop, don't they? I know that a few people continue to do sports outdoors, and there are some other people who do winter sports, but for most of us, we become lazier, don't we? If it's a beautiful spring or summer morning and someone suggests that we go outside and do some yoga or go for a jog or go for a run or go outside and do some chin-ups or some press-ups, then you might say, okay, let's do some exercise. It's a lovely day, the birds are singing, the sun is shining, let's exercise. But what happens when someone asks you that same question in the middle of winter? Yes, it's normally a different reaction, isn't it? Now, when it's cold and wet, when it's snowing, when the wind is blowing like something out of a Hollywood disaster film, then we're normally not so keen on going outside to exercise, are we? No, because it's cold, wet. Maybe there's ice on the ground. Maybe it's snowing. All of the sort of things that make you want to go back to bed, not put on a pair of shorts and start running about the place like a loony. All right. And what's the result? Well, one of the results is something that I already mentioned. We tend to put on weight over the Christmas period. We do more eating around Christmas and New Year. We do more drinking at these times too. And, as I've just mentioned, we do less exercise. I mean, I know that we can still go to the gym and work out inside, where it's warm. But most of us would prefer to go eating and drinking rather than go to the gym and work out, wouldn't we? Oh, and while we're here, there were a couple of new words in that last bit that I think we should have a closer look at. Did you notice them? One of them was the adjective keen, and the other was a verb, the verb to tend. So when I used the adjective, I said that we're normally not so keen on something, on exercising in the cold outdoors. Can you figure out what it means? Keen is an adjective, which is a synonym for eager or enthusiastic. Think about the reactions of children. If you suggest that they stay inside on a nice day and practice the violin and then do some extra homework, what's their reaction? Are they excited about the idea of staying inside with extra homework and a violin? No, they're not, are they? Now, think about another idea. What if you suggest that you take them to the park, play football, then have some ice cream, and then go to the cinema, watch a film, eat some popcorn, and then go to an Italian restaurant to eat pizza? What's the reaction now? Yes, now the reaction is completely different, isn't it? Now they're really excited about doing these things. Now they're keen, they're eager, they're very enthusiastic about the plans for the day. So, when we use the adjective keen, we're saying that this person is very enthusiastic about something. They really want to do it. They really enjoy it. Keen, eager, enthusiastic. He's very keen on her. She's very keen to help her grandma. They're eager to go skiing. Now, if we use the adjective keen, then we can use it with a noun without a preposition, like in the sentence, Michael's a keen football player. Then we're talking about what Michael likes doing. Here, we're telling someone that Michael really enjoys playing football. Maybe he's good at football, maybe he's not good at football. When we use the adjective keen, we're not providing or giving any information about how Michael plays football. Whether he plays like this bloke, or whether he plays more like this bloke. You see, when we use the adjective keen, enthusiastic or eager, we're not saying anything about the ability of that person to do that thing. Graham might be a very keen piano player, but that doesn't mean that he's a good piano player. Do you all remember Eric the eel, The man who entered the Olympic swimming competition when he couldn't really swim? Well, we can say that he was keen. He was a keen swimmer. He was enthusiastic about swimming. He was eager. But we're not saying anything about his talent, about his skill. When we use adjectives like keen, eager, and enthusiastic, we're not giving any information about how well or how badly someone does something. So, we can use keen with a noun and no preposition. Michael's a keen footballer. And we can also use keen with a noun and the preposition on to give information about what someone is interested in or attracted to. He's very keen on her. He always wants to dance with her. She's keen on hiking. Every weekend she goes into the countryside and hikes for miles and miles. So, there are a couple of ways we can use keen, either with a noun but without a preposition to show what this person likes doing, or with a noun and the preposition on to show what this person likes or finds attractive. Now, the other word we saw just now was the verb to tend. And does anyone have any ideas about this one? Think about the sentence that I used it in. We tend to put on weight over the Christmas period. We do more eating around Christmas and New Year. Now, put the two ideas together and see if you can figure it out. See if you can work out what the verb means. Has anyone worked it out? Yes, that's right. The verb to tend means that something is likely to do something. The sentence, young footballers tend to drink too much and go to nightclubs, tells us about the normal, likely behavior of young footballers. Or we can say something like this: I tend to believe things I read in the newspaper. And especially in this sentence, we can see that when we use tend, we're not talking about something which is 100%. No, if we use the verb to tend with the infinitive, it just tells people what normally happens. So, back to our original sentence. We tend to put on weight over the Christmas period. We do more eating around Christmas and New Year. So, what we're saying is that most people, maybe not all people, but most people become fatter. They put on weight at this time of the year due to the fact that we eat and drink more than usual. And this takes us back to the original idea that I wanted to talk about. What is it that we all tend to do at Christmas and New Year? Well, that's an easy one, isn't it? We just heard the answer to that, didn't we? Yes, at Christmas and New Year, we all tend to put on weight. Not because someone is fattening us up. We're not geese or pigs, and we don't have a farmer watching our weight, but because we eat and drink more than we usually eat and drink. Okay, and then we step onto the scales, the bathroom scales, not the kitchen scales. If we try to step on the kitchen scales, then after a couple of seconds, we'll have to go to the shops and buy some new kitchen scales. No, what I wanted to talk about was what we tend to do after the Christmas period, when it's over. We started looking at this a couple of days ago. Yes, that's right. New Year's resolutions. We tend to put on weight at Christmas, and at the start of the new year, we tend to make New Year's resolutions. And I'd just like to have another quick look at that idea. But oh no, it'll have to wait. Yes, we've run out of time. Oh, broken pencils. Oh well, never mind. At least we've still got our eyebrows. Yes, we may have run out of time, but we've still got our eyebrows. So there's no reason at all for us to cry over spilt milk. All right, people, that's it for the day. It's time for me to go home, and it's time for you to get up, stretch your legs, and do something else. I don't know what you have to do, but you do, so that's okay. I'm going home. I'm gonna have a coffee and I'll see you all tomorrow, here in the studio. Have fun, have a coffee, and remember the website with the 3 Ks, www.mediaclick.hu. See you later. Bye.